Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, you know, they say good things can only last for so long, and maybe we've had just that amount of time for good things to last, because it looks like that World War III may still be on the table, especially before the end of the year. And I know it's been somewhat quiet, eerie quiet, right, the last couple of weeks, and we've all commented on that, but well, things are heating up again. So before I get into the big thing that happened today, and many of you already know, apparently over the weekend, Russia has done some major strikes inside of Ukraine, attacking electrical grid infrastructure. And Joe Biden today announced that he is giving full permission for Ukraine to use any and all weapons, basically, that the West sends them, to do offensive strikes against Russia inside Russian territory. This is a major change in policy and a major change in the war, because up until now, from my understanding, is the only real permission they had was a defensive strikes, to retaliate against something. But this is different. They're now able to use pretty much whatever they have to attack Russia inside Russian territory. And it was just last week that the Biden White House, said that their plan is to send Ukraine as much money and as much weapons as they can before Donald Trump takes office. Now, this is a big deal because over the last few months, Russia, Vladimir Putin, I can't think of the guy's name. He's the Minister of Defense or whatever for Russia. They've all stated that if this happens, that this is the red line, this is the final deal, and if this happens, that they will consider it an act of war by NATO and the United States. And so it's full on. Ukraine has said that they've already been engaging North Korean troops, so that they are fully in the battle scene. They're not staying back at all. They are out on the front lines, and Ukraine says that they are already engaging them. And so you've got North Korean troops fighting in Ukraine. You've got the United States sending everything they can, apparently, is the plan, to Ukraine. And then now Ukraine can use any and all the weapons that we send them to attack Russia directly inside of Russia, offensively. So this is a big deal. This is the kind of thing, I know that this war over there has gone on for so long that most people have grown tired of it. And now with Trump getting elected, most people, at least on the right, have just assumed that the war is going to be over. You know, Donald Trump said that within the first 24 hours of being elected, he was going to stop the war. Well, the war's still going. Some people say, well, maybe he meant after he was inaugurated. But either way, the war's still going. And of course, there has been communication between Trump and Putin. And that both sides have kind of said that they would, be interested in some kind of ceasefire negotiations. But Zelensky's made it clear that Trump and Washington, D.C. isn't their boss, even though kind of are if we're sending them all the stuff. So there is some mixed messages going on, but it looks like that the Biden White House is trying to go out with a bang, literally and figuratively. Now, the question, of course, is how much will this affect things, being that Trump will most likely be taking over on January 20th. So will Russia hold off? Will Trump be able to hold Russia back if, Ukraine starts doing major strikes inside of Russia? My personal opinion is Trump's only going to be able to do so much to stop Russia from retaliating. And we don't know, NATO has already expressed concerns with Trump becoming president and the possibility of him backing the United States out of NATO. So it's quite possible that Ukraine and NATO is going to do everything they can to get a massive war started before Trump gets into office. And once that happens, it's a lot more difficult than you think to just back out of it. It's not like he's going to take the oath and then turn around and say, okay, it's all done. I mean, that's how we want it to work, but it just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. I mean, it's just red tape and bureaucracy and all that kind of stuff. And if there's already a lot of damage done, well, it just could be a lot of damage done, especially if at that point it's possible that United States and troops would be more directly involved in the war. There's just a lot to be said, and there's a lot that could happen. It may not happen this way. It may be a nothing burger, but I think this is fairly significant, and we need to be paying close attention because the possibilities of this thing going nuclear are very significant. In fact, I believe it was just last week that Ukrainian government stated that if things didn't improve for them and if Western support seemed to be more diminished, that they would look into building a nuclear weapon. It'd be a small, rudimentary nuclear weapon, but they'd do it. And if you remember, some of you may not be old enough, Ukraine used to be kind of the world leader in nuclear production. In fact, they still have a lot of nuclear plants. They certainly would have people in. It's not like a country that's starting from scratch. The possibility of Ukraine building a nuclear weapon, I think, would be much easier than you think. And if they may already have that or have started the process. So that possibility is a very real threat, and a real threat to starting World War III, which is exactly what it seems, at least the far left, the globalists, want to happen. And so with this one changing of policy, allowing Ukraine to go full throttle against Russia, we need to be ready for that. I mean, we all know that just because the news media has declared Donald Trump the winner of the election, that doesn't mean that everything is just going to be fixed and go away. I mean, there's been a lot of hype and a lot of intense emotion, positive emotion, over the last 2 weeks of Trump getting elected and the appointments that he's going to make to cabinet and leadership positions. But we all know that the other shoe is going to drop eventually, and things have to get back to that chaotic craziness. And this may be the thing that does it over the next few days. Who knows? I mean, I would think that once it becomes official that Ukraine could, start using those weapons against Russia within moments, hours, a few days at that, because they already have the weapons, the technology, and the capability of using them. So what's the difference of just striking different targets? Of course, like I said, we don't know how Russia will react to this. I mean, they've already stated verbally that this is a red line. But now that Trump is, seeming to take office in a few weeks, maybe that will change things, and we'll just have to wait and see. For right now, I think for you and I, this is just a confirmation of what I've been saying for the last several days of not letting up, not taking a break, not backing down, but continue being ready for what will happen. Because even though this is mostly focused in Eastern Europe, it could spiral things elsewhere out of control. The whole thing between Iran and Israel, especially with the Iranian supreme leader in a coma or possibly deceased at this point, that could change things. Israel has made it very clear that they're not going to back down from working on Lebanon and Iran. And then just the tensions here in the United States, because those tensions are growing every time Donald Trump makes a new appointment to a cabinet level position or department position that are more on the far right. It's causing the left to just go crazy. And so the possibility of them reacting to all this just because of turmoil, just because of the overall chaos and turmoil, or taking advantage of the moment, could all happen. And so we need to be prepared for those things and keep a watchful eye on what's going on, because, like I said, it's quite possible that the United States and NATO could be much more directly involved in the war between Russia and Ukraine in the coming weeks, if this thing just keeps spiraling. So get your houses in order, right? You know the drill. Get yourselves prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.